There was a family that almost didn't make it to December. January started with a father's heart attack. March brought a mother's cancer diagnosis. June saw a teenage daughter in a car accident. August brought a son's job loss. September meant eviction notices. By October, they had stopped counting disasters and started counting days until the year would mercifully end. But something happened in November that changed everything. They began thanking God, not for the tragedies, but through them. And as they traced God's goodness through each devastating month, they discovered something astonishing. They had never been alone, never been abandoned, never been forgotten. God's goodness had been the thread holding them together when everything else was falling apart. If you've made it to the end of this year, if you're still standing despite everything that tried to knock you down, if your family is still intact even though circumstances threaten to tear you apart, if your friendships survived the pressures that could have destroyed them, then what I'm about to share will revolutionize how you see God's goodness. Hit that like button right this moment, subscribe to this channel, and activate those notifications, because we're about to walk through 12 months of divine goodness that will prepare your heart for whatever comes next. Let me share something that happened in our prayer community. A woman named Rebecca lost her mother in February of 2025. Her best friend betrayed her in April. Her marriage nearly collapsed in July. Her business failed in September. By November, she was convinced that God had turned his back on her family. She couldn't see any evidence of goodness. Every month brought fresh pain. Every season carried new loss. She told me she had stopped praying because what's the point of talking to a God who doesn't care? Then someone gave her a challenge that seemed impossible. Find one act of God's goodness in each month of the year, no matter how small. Just one per month. Rebecca laughed bitterly. One act of goodness? She said. There isn't even one. But desperation made her try. And as she looked back, really looked back, she started seeing what grief had blinded her to. In January, before her mother got sick, they had one final conversation where everything was said that needed saying. In February, her mother passed peacefully, not in agony. In March, when Rebecca was drowning in grief, her children rallied around her with unprecedented maturity. In April, when her best friend betrayed her, 3 other friends stepped in with such fierce loyalty that the betrayal sting lessened. In May, financial provision appeared from a source she never expected. In June, her husband, though their marriage was rocky, didn't leave when he could have. In July, a counselor who specialized in their exact issues had a sudden opening. In August, both her and her husband started healing. In September, when her business failed, a job offer came the same week. In October, she discovered the business failure had actually protected her from a lawsuit that would have destroyed them. In November, her family gathered for Thanksgiving more united than they'd been in years. By December, Rebecca wasn't just counting blessings. She was overwhelmed by them. That's what we're doing together right this second. We're walking through January to December of 2025, and we're finding God's goodness in every single month. Not because every month was easy, but because God's goodness isn't dependent on easy circumstances. His goodness is who He is, regardless of what we're experiencing. Psalm 136 is a powerful chapter. Every single verse ends with the same refrain, His love endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. His love endures forever. Give thanks to the God of gods. His love endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord of lords. His love endures forever. 26 verses, 26 declarations of enduring love. That's the foundation of this prayer. God's goodness and love have endured through every day of this year. Before we continue, I need your engagement because this is crucial. Type in the comments right now one month from 2025 that was particularly difficult for you. Just type the month. January, April, September. Whatever month broke your heart or tested your faith. Type it. Then we're going to search together for God's goodness even in that painful month. Don't skip this. Your participation creates breakthrough. Here's what I've discovered after years of ministry and prayer. God's goodness is easiest to see in retrospect. When you're in the middle of the storm, all you see is rain and wind and chaos. But when you look back from the shore, you see how every wave pushed you towards safety, how every wind gust moved you away from rocks, how the storm itself was part of God's rescue plan. That's the gift of year-end reflection. We get to look back and see what we couldn't see in real time. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 3 through 4 call God the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. Notice it doesn't say God prevents all troubles. It says He comforts us in all troubles. His goodness isn't the absence of difficulty. His goodness is His presence in the difficulty. Every month of this year, God was good. Not because every month was pleasant, but because every month He was present. His goodness carried you through January's challenges. His goodness sustained you through February's losses. His goodness provided in March's lack. His goodness protected in April's dangers. His goodness healed in May's sickness. His goodness guided in June's confusion. His goodness restored in July's brokenness. His goodness strengthened in August's weakness. His goodness encouraged in September's discouragement. His goodness anchored in October's instability. His goodness multiplied in November's scarcity. His goodness celebrates in December's victories. Saint Anthony of Padua experienced God's goodness in ways that defied circumstances. When he set sail for Morocco to preach and potentially be martyred, severe illness struck. Most would call that bad. But Anthony recognized God's goodness redirecting him. When his ship was blown off course to Italy, most would call that disaster. But Anthony saw God's goodness repositioning him. When he was assigned to a remote hermitage doing manual labor instead of preaching, most would call that waste. But Anthony understood God's goodness was preparing him. Every apparent setback was actually divine setup. That's the perspective we need for this year. Our mother of Perpetual help knew God's goodness through circumstances that seemed to contradict it. When the angel announced she would bear a child outside marriage, risking her life under religious law, she recognized God's goodness choosing her for this honor. When she had to give birth in a stable, she saw God's goodness providing shelter when there was no room elsewhere. When they fled to Egypt as refugees, she understood God's goodness protecting her child from Herod's massacre. When she stood at Calvary watching her son die, she trusted God's goodness was accomplishing salvation for humanity. Mary's entire life teaches us that God's goodness is present in our worst moments, not just our best ones. If you're believing God's goodness has marked your year despite difficulties, I need you to share this video immediately. Hit that share button. Send it to your family members who walked through this year with you. Forward it to friends who supported you through hard months. Post it for anyone who needs to recognize God's goodness in their own challenging year. Your obedience and sharing creates a ripple of thanksgiving. Let us enter this prayer with hearts wide open. Find a place of stillness if possible. Eliminate distractions. This isn't just reciting words. This is building a memorial of God's goodness through 12 months. This is constructing a testimony that will sustain your faith in years to come. Heavenly Father, I come before you at the close of this year 2025 with a heart overflowing with one undeniable truth: you are good. Not you were good in the easy months. Not you might be good if circumstances improve. You are good. Present tense. Constant state. Unchanging reality. Your goodness has been the bedrock beneath every month, the constant in every variable, the certainty in every uncertainty. And I come now to thank you for that goodness, to celebrate your love, to honor your faithfulness to me, to my family, to my friends throughout this entire year. Father, I begin with January, the first month of 2025, when everything was new and full of possibility. January 1st, we celebrated the turning of the calendar, unaware of what the year would hold. But you knew. You saw every challenge coming. You knew every crisis before it arrived. And in your goodness, you didn't abandon us to face it alone. Thank you for January's fresh start. Thank you for the hope that comes with new beginnings. Thank you for being good to us when the year was young and our plans were still intact. Thank you for my family in January. Thank you that we started this year together. Whether we lived under the same roof or miles apart, we were connected by blood and love and history. Thank you for parents who sacrificed for us, who prayed for us, who loved us even when we were difficult. Thank you for siblings who know our stories, who share our memories, who understand where we came from. Thank you for spouses who committed to walk beside us for better or worse. Thank you for children who depend on us, who trust us, who look to us for guidance and love. Thank you for friends in January who stood with us as the year began. Thank you for those who texted to check on us, who called just to talk, who made time despite busy schedules. Thank you for friends who prayed for us even when we didn't know we needed prayer. Thank you for companions who walked through January's cold with us, who started this year's journey alongside us. I thank you for February, the month of love and the shortest month that somehow held its own weight of challenges and blessings. Valentine's Day came, celebrating romantic love for some and highlighting its absence for others. But your goodness was present for all. Thank you for being good to couples celebrating strong marriages and to singles navigating loneliness. Thank you for being good to those experiencing the joy of new love and to those grieving love that ended. Thank you for my family in February. Thank you for protecting us through whatever threatened us that month. Whether it was sickness or financial pressure or relational conflict, your goodness shielded us. Thank you for every family member who made it through February intact. Thank you for health that sustained them, provision that fed them, shelter that housed them. Where there was sickness in my family during February, thank you that it wasn't fatal. Where there was conflict, thank you that it didn't permanently divide us. Where there was lack, thank you that we still had enough. Thank you for friends in February who showed up. Thank you for the friend who helped when we needed it. Thank you for the friend who listened when we needed to talk. Thank you for the friend who prayed when we couldn't find words. Your goodness came through human hands, human hearts, human presence throughout February. I thank you for March, when winter released its grip and spring began breaking through frozen ground. March brought transitions, the shift from cold to warm, from dormant to alive, from dead looking to flourishing. Thank you for being good to us through March's transitions. Thank you for carrying us through seasonal changes, schedule adjustments, life shifts that came with this month. Thank you for my family in March. Thank you for every birthday celebrated, every milestone reached, every ordinary day that passed without disaster. We take normal days for granted, but normal is a gift. Thank you that March wasn't marked by tragedy for my family. Thank you that we made it through another month together. Where there were struggles in March, thank you that your goodness was greater than our struggles. Where there were victories in March, thank you that your goodness made them possible. Thank you for friends in March who celebrated with us and mourned with us. Thank you for friends who showed up to birthday parties and hospital rooms, to celebrations and crisis moments. Your goodness provided companions for every season of March, people who cared enough to be present. I thank you for April, the month of rain and renewal. April showers tested patience and watered growth. April brought Easter some years, celebrating resurrection and new life. Thank you for being good to us through April storms, both weather storms and life storms. Thank you that we weren't washed away by April's floods, literal or metaphorical. Thank you that rain brought growth, not just discomfort. Thank you for my family in April. Thank you for protecting children in my family, keeping them safe when they were at school, at play, on roads, in activities. Thank you for protecting parents in my family, guarding them as they worked, as they drove, as they navigated daily responsibilities. Thank you for protecting elderly family members, sustaining them through health challenges that come with age. Every family member who made it through April alive is evidence of your goodness. Thank you for friends in April who brought sunshine during rainy days. Thank you for friends whose humor lightened heavy moments. Thank you for friends whose wisdom guided confused situations. Thank you for friends whose prayers sustained us when our own faith wavered. Your goodness surrounded us with people who reflected your love. I thank you for May, the month when spring bloomed fully and life burst forth in color and beauty. May brought Mother's Day, honoring women who gave life and nurtured life and sacrificed for life. Thank you for being good to mothers in my life, my own mother or the women who mothered me. Thank you for my wife who mothers our children with grace and strength. Thank you for my daughters learning what it means to nurture and care. Thank you for honoring the feminine gift of life-giving that mothers represent. Thank you for my family in May. Thank you for graduations celebrated, promotions earned, accomplishments achieved. Thank you that my family experienced success in May, whether public victories everyone saw or private victories only we knew. Thank you for being good to us through May's opportunities and May's obligations. Thank you for friends in May who acted like family. Thank you for friends who filled gaps where family couldn't or wouldn't. Thank you for friends who became chosen family, who loved us not because they had to but because they wanted to. Your goodness provided family beyond bloodlines, connections beyond biology. I thank you for June, when school years ended and summer schedules began. June brought transitions for students finishing grades, for graduates launching into new phases, for families adjusting to different rhythms. Thank you for being good to us through June's changes. Father's Day came in June, celebrating men who provide and protect and lead. Thank you for my father or the men who fathered me. Thank you for being the ultimate father when earthly fathers fell short. Thank you for my family in June. Thank you for students in my family who completed another year. Thank you for graduates who reached significant milestones. Thank you for workers in my family who kept providing through June, who showed up to jobs day after day to ensure we had what we needed. Thank you for every family member who fulfilled their responsibilities throughout June. Thank you for friends in June who made summer brighter. Thank you for friends we vacationed with, barbecued with, relaxed with. Thank you for friends who helped us find rest after intense school and work seasons. Your goodness came through friendship that refreshed and renewed us. I thank you for July, the height of summer, the celebration of independence in my nation. July brought heat and holidays, fireworks and freedom celebrations. Thank you for being good to us through July's intensity. Thank you that we had freedom to worship you, freedom to gather, freedom to pray. Thank you for protecting us during July celebrations, during travel, during activities that carried risk. Thank you for my family in July. Thank you that family gatherings in July, whether large reunions or small cookouts, happened. Thank you that we had family to gather with. Thank you that my family experienced summer joys together, creating memories that will last beyond this year. Where there were conflicts in July family gatherings, thank you that your goodness prevented permanent damage. Thank you for friends in July who made summer fun. Thank you for friends who invited us places, who included us in activities, who made sure we weren't alone during summer months. Your goodness prevented isolation and provided companionship through friends who cared. I thank you for August, summer's final stretch before everything shifts again. August carried a bittersweet awareness that good seasons end and new ones begin. Thank you for being good to us through August's endings and anticipated beginnings. Thank you for preparing us for transitions coming in September. Thank you for my family in August. Thank you for protecting us through August vacations and travel. Thank you that every family member who went away came back safely. Thank you for providing resources for summer activities, for vacations, for camps, for experiences that enriched our lives. Where August brought preparation for new school years or job changes, thank you for your goodness equipping us for what was coming. Thank you for friends in August who made final summer memories with us. Thank you for friends who understood the urgency of enjoying the last weeks of summer. Thank you for friends who helped us squeeze every drop of joy from August before September's intensity arrived. Your goodness provided companions who valued presence and intentionality. I thank you for September, when everything shifted. Routines changed dramatically. School started. Work intensified. Schedules became complicated. Thank you for being good to us through September's adjustments. Thank you for grace to navigate new teachers, new classmates, new co-workers, new responsibilities. Thank you that we didn't just survive September's transitions, we adapted and found our rhythm. Thank you for my family in September. Thank you for students in my family who started new grades successfully. Thank you for teachers in my family who welcomed new students with patience and skill. Thank you for workers in my family who tackled fall projects and fourth quarter goals with energy. Thank you that my family adjusted to September's new normal without falling apart. Thank you for friends in September who understood how crazy life got. Thank you for friends who gave grace when we couldn't show up to everything. Thank you for friends who helped with carpools, with childcare, with meals when schedules overwhelmed us. Your goodness came through friends who served practically during September's intensity. I thank you for October, the month of falling leaves and cooling temperatures. October brought harvest themes, reminders that reaping follows sowing, that seasons have their purposes. Thank you for being good to us through October's transitions from growth to rest. Thank you for letting us harvest what we had planted earlier in the year. Thank you for protecting us through Halloween activities, however we chose to observe or not observe that day. Thank you for my family in October. Thank you for health that sustained us as weather changed and flu season began. Thank you for wisdom to navigate October's unique challenges. Thank you that my family stayed connected even as schedules pulled us different directions. October can be busy and disconnecting, but your goodness kept us anchored to each other. Thank you for friends in October who walked through fall with us. Thank you for friends we went to harvest festivals with, who we carved pumpkins with, who we enjoyed autumn activities with. Thank you for friends who made October memorable. Your goodness created moments of joy and connection throughout the month. I thank you for November, the month of thanksgiving and gratitude. November brought cooler weather, earlier darkness, the awareness that the year was ending. Thanksgiving Day came, gathering families around tables to celebrate together. Thank you for being good to us throughout November. Thank you that we had reasons to be thankful. Thank you that we had food to eat, family to gather with, homes to host in. Thank you for my family in November. Thank you that we sat around a Thanksgiving table together, whether our own family's table or someone else's. Thank you that we weren't homeless during Thanksgiving. We weren't starving. We weren't alone. Where there were empty chairs at our table from family members who passed away or moved away, thank you for memories of Thanksgivings past and hope for reunions to come. Thank you for friends in November who celebrated with us. Thank you for friends who invited us to their tables when we had nowhere else to go. Thank you for friends we invited to our tables, expanding our family circle. Thank you for Friendsgiving celebrations that honored chosen family. Your goodness multiplied our reasons to give thanks by multiplying our community. I thank you for December, this final month of 2025. December brings Christmas, the celebration of your greatest gift, Jesus Christ born in Bethlehem. December brings year-end reflection, last chances to accomplish delayed goals, final opportunities to connect with people we've neglected. December brings both joy and sorrow, celebration and stress, hope and exhaustion. Thank you for being good to us through December's complexity. Thank you for my family in December. Thank you that we're still together as this year closes. Thank you that we survived 2025 intact, that we're preparing to enter 2026 connected and not divided. Where relationships in my family have been strained this year, thank you that December offers opportunities for reconciliation. Where relationships have been strong, thank you that December allows us to celebrate that strength. Thank you for friends in December who've walked this entire year with us. Thank you for friends who were present in January and still present in December, who didn't disappear when things got hard, who stayed committed to relationship through all 12 months. Thank you for new friends we made during 2025. Thank you that your goodness continually expands our community. Father, as I look at these 12 months together, I see a tapestry of your goodness woven through every single one. I see your goodness in moments I didn't recognize at the time. I see your goodness in circumstances that seemed bad but protected me from worse things. I see your goodness in delays that perfected timing. I see your goodness in closed doors that redirected me to better paths. I see your goodness in losses that made room for greater gains. Thank you for being good to my family throughout every month of this year. Thank you that we're all still alive. Every family member breathing right now is a testimony to your goodness. Where there was sickness, you brought healing or sustained us through it. Where there was financial crisis, you provided or taught us to live with less. Where there was conflict, you brought resolution or gave us grace to navigate ongoing tension. Where there was grief, you comforted us and helped us keep living. Where there was joy, you celebrated with us and multiplied our happiness. Thank you for parents in my family who loved us this year. Thank you for their sacrifices we saw and sacrifices we'll never know. Thank you for spouses in my family who kept their commitments even when marriage was hard. Thank you for children in my family who grew and learned and developed this year. Thank you for siblings who shared our journey, who understood our family dynamics in ways no one else could. Thank you for extended family who stayed connected despite distance or difficulty. Thank you for being good to my friends throughout this year. Thank you that my friends also survived 2025. Thank you for friends who got new jobs, who got married, who had babies, who experienced victories this year. Celebrate with them, Father. Thank you for friends who lost jobs, who went through divorces, who battled sickness, who faced defeats this year. Comfort them, Father. Thank you that friendship allowed us to celebrate together and mourn together, to carry each other's burdens and multiply each other's joys. Thank you for friends who confronted me when I was wrong. That's evidence of your goodness, surrounding me with people who love me enough to challenge me. Thank you for friends who encouraged me when I was discouraged. That's evidence of your goodness, providing hope through human voices when I couldn't hear your voice clearly. Thank you for friends who prayed for me when I couldn't pray for myself. That's evidence of your goodness, ensuring I was covered even in my weakness. Glorious Saint Anthony of Padua, you who experienced God's goodness through circumstances that seemed bad, I invite you into this prayer of thanksgiving. Join me in thanking God for His goodness to me, to my family, to my friends throughout 2025. You understood that God's goodness isn't always comfortable. Sometimes goodness looks like storms that redirect. Sometimes goodness looks like illness that repositions. Sometimes goodness looks like closed doors that protect. Saint Anthony, present my thanksgiving before God's throne. Magnify my gratitude with your own. You who preached God's goodness to thousands, amplify my declaration to heaven. You who found lost things through God's power, help me find every moment of goodness I've overlooked this year. Intercede that my family and friends would also recognize God's goodness in their lives. Thank you, Saint Anthony, for your intercession throughout this year. Thank you for every prayer you've offered on behalf of me and my family and my friends. Thank you for bringing our needs before God's throne even when we didn't call on you specifically. Your intercession has been part of God's goodness to us. Our Mother of Perpetual Help, you who experience God's goodness through unbearable circumstances, I invite you into this prayer. Join me in thanking God for His goodness that endured through every month of this year. You trusted God's goodness when your son was murdered. You believed His goodness when the Messiah hung dead on a cross. You maintained faith in His goodness when everything visible contradicted it. Mother Mary, present my gratitude to Jesus. Tell Him how thankful I am for His goodness to me, my family, my friends. Celebrate with me His faithfulness that brought us to December. You who stood at the cross and watched God's goodness accomplish salvation through apparent tragedy, help me see His goodness in my own difficult circumstances. Thank you, Mother Mary, for your motherly care throughout this year. Thank you for interceding for my family, for my friends, for me. Thank you for presenting our needs to Jesus even when we didn't know how to articulate them. Thank you for perpetual help that has been exactly that. Perpetual, constant, unwavering through every month. Father, I specifically thank you for times this year when I was certain things wouldn't work out, and they did. I remember panicking over situations that resolved themselves. I remember losing sleep over problems that disappeared. I remember anxiety over outcomes that turned favorable. Your goodness came through when I least expected it, in ways I didn't anticipate, from sources I didn't predict. I thank you for people you brought into my life this year. New friends who became significant. New co-workers who became allies. New neighbors who became community. New church members who became family. Your goodness continually expands my circle, ensuring I'm never isolated or alone. I thank you for people you removed from my life this year. Relationships that ended weren't all failures. Some were completions, natural conclusions to seasons that had run their course. Some were protections, removing influences that would have harmed me. Some were redirections, making room for better connections. Your goodness knows when to bring people close and when to create distance. I thank you for lessons I learned this year. Hard lessons taught through difficulty. Sweet lessons taught through joy. Practical lessons taught through experience. Spiritual lessons taught through your word and spirit. Every lesson has made me wiser, stronger, more mature. Your goodness uses everything as curriculum in the school of life. I thank you for strength you provided when I had none. Days when I woke exhausted but somehow made it through. Moments when I thought I'd collapse but found energy to continue. Seasons when I believed I was at my limit but discovered reserves I didn't know existed. Your goodness sustained me beyond my natural capacity. I thank you for peace that made no sense. Circumstances that should have produced panic but didn't. Situations that should have generated anxiety but somehow I stayed calm. Problems that should have stolen sleep but I rested anyway. Your goodness provided supernatural peace that defied natural logic. I thank you for provision that appeared when I needed it. Money from unexpected sources. Help from surprising people. Resources that materialized at perfect timing. Solutions that presented themselves when I'd exhausted my own ideas. Your goodness has supplied everything I've truly needed this year. I thank you for protection I'll never fully know until heaven. Accidents that almost happened but didn't. Dangers I was unaware of that you steered me away from. Plans of the enemy that you thwarted before they could touch me or my family or my friends. Your goodness has been a shield I couldn't see but that stopped countless arrows. I thank you for healing that happened this year, physical and emotional and spiritual. Bodies that recovered. Hearts that mended. Minds that found clarity. Spirits that revived. Where healing hasn't fully come yet, thank you that healing is in process. Your goodness is still working, still restoring, still making whole. I thank you for growth that happened this year. I'm not who I was in January. My character has developed. My faith has deepened. My wisdom has increased. My love has matured. Your goodness has been shaping me throughout every month, using every experience as a tool to conform me more to the image of Christ. I thank you for victories we experienced this year, my family and my friends and I, goals accomplished. Dreams realized. Prayers answered. Breakthroughs manifested. Successes earned. These victories weren't luck or coincidence. They were your goodness orchestrating outcomes, opening doors, arranging circumstances in our favor. I thank you for defeats we experienced this year. Failures that humbled us. Losses that redirected us. Closed doors that protected us from wrong paths. Unanswered prayers that saved us from getting what would have harmed us. Even defeats were evidence of your goodness, though we couldn't see it at the time. I thank you for ordinary days that comprised most of this year. Exciting days get attention, but ordinary days are the foundation. Thank you for normal Tuesday mornings and average Thursday afternoons and unremarkable Saturday evenings. Thank you for routine that provided stability. Thank you for predictability that offered security. Your goodness is present in the mundane, not just in the spectacular. I thank you for bringing my family to the end of this year. We started 2025 together and we're finishing it together. That's not something to take for granted. Thank you that death didn't separate us permanently this year. Where we did lose family members, thank you for time we had with them and for the hope of heaven's reunion. Thank you that conflict didn't divide us irreparably. Thank you that distance didn't disconnect us completely. Your goodness has held my family together through 2025. I thank you for bringing my friends to the end of this year. Friendships that survived 2025 are testimonies to your goodness. Thank you for friends who forgave my failings. Thank you for friends who celebrated my successes without jealousy. Thank you for friends who challenged me to grow. Thank you for friends who accepted me as I am. Your goodness surrounded me with a community that reflects your love. Father, I commit to remember this year. When future challenges come, I will recall 2025. When I'm tempted to doubt your goodness, I will rehearse this year's evidence. When circumstances look bad, I will remember that you were good through every month of this year and you'll be good through every month to come. Your goodness isn't dependent on favorable circumstances. Your goodness is your nature, unchanging and eternal. I commit to tell my family about your goodness this year. I will share testimonies around dinner tables. I will recount blessings during family gatherings. I will ensure the next generation knows that God was good to us throughout 2025. My children and my children's children will hear about this year as evidence of your faithfulness. I commit to tell my friends about your goodness this year. I will bear witness to what you've done. I will testify to how you've provided. I will announce your goodness to anyone who will listen. My testimony will build faith in others who are struggling to see your goodness in their own circumstances. Saint Anthony, carry this declaration of God's goodness to heaven. Present it before the Father as a memorial of what is accomplished in my life, my family's lives, my friends' lives this year. Magnify my gratitude until it fills the throne room. Mother Mary, present this thanksgiving to Jesus. Tell him face to face how good he has been to us. Sing with me a Magnificat for 2025, celebrating the goodness of your Son who brought us safely to December. Father, as this year closes, I seal it with gratitude. 2025 has been a year of your goodness. Every month bore your fingerprints. Every week carried your presence. Every day demonstrated your love. And I enter 2026 confident that the good God of this year will be the good God of next year, because your goodness isn't seasonal or temporary. Your goodness endures forever. Thank you for being good when I was bad. Thank you for being generous when I was stingy. Thank you for being patient when I was difficult. Thank you for being present when I felt alone. Thank you for being faithful when I was faithless. Thank you for being loving when I was unlovable. Thank you for being God when I failed to be the child you deserved. Surely goodness and mercy have followed me all the days of this year, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. If this prayer has opened your eyes to God's goodness throughout your year, I need 3 immediate actions from you. First, hit that like button so others can discover this message. Second, subscribe to this channel and activate notifications for ongoing prayer content. Third, comment below with this declaration: God has been good to me and my family and my friends throughout 2025. Then add one specific example of His goodness. Write it out. Let your testimony encourage others. Your gratitude for God's goodness is powerful. It silences the enemy's accusations. It builds faith in others. It creates expectation for continued blessing. Never stop declaring His goodness. Make it your constant testimony. And watch how gratitude transforms everything. Go from this place celebrating God's goodness. Enter the new year expecting more goodness. Face every challenge knowing the good God who brought you through 2025 will bring you through every year ahead. His goodness endures forever. His love never fails. His mercy is new every morning. I bless you with eyes to see goodness in every circumstance. I bless you with a heart that defaults to thanksgiving for God's goodness. I bless you with testimony of divine goodness throughout this entire year. I bless you with family and friends who also recognize and celebrate His goodness. The Lord is good. His love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. Proclaim it. Believe it. Live it. In Jesus' mighty name, Amen and Amen.